Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of Real Ball Talk. Hope everyone is blessed and had a good weekend. The Mandem, Jalil's actually at a work event today, so he can't make it. Jeff and Rash will be here very shortly. So I thought let me just start off the stream, just so we're not too late. But like I said, hope everyone is blessed. Smash the likes as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Do pass on the message of RBT as always. We're not far away now from 400 subscribers, so that'll be a nice little milestone for us to hit before the end of the year. So make sure you share whenever you can. But yeah, people, let's get into it. Let's obviously the big game of the weekend, Liverpool against Man City. Liverpool winning 1-0. Mo Salah grabbing the winner. Very good goal from his perspective, Liverpool's perspective. Great ball from Allison, noticing the one-on-one developing at the back. Great, fantastic touch from Salah. And then brilliant finish, actually, because he was very composed, took his time, and after the one-on-one that he missed earlier where Edison got fingertips to it, he was actually very smart and kind of side foot dinked it over Edison's leg. So big up to Salah for that. That was a great finish. Obviously from City's perspective, dreadful defending from Cancelo, just awful, just in terms of breaking all the fundamental rules of defending. All he had to do was literally, even if Salah had controlled it facing towards his own goal, it would have been a very good touch. But at least if you have him facing his own goal, you've got time to retreat, you've got time to get support from your other defenders, covering defenders, and you were forcing a much more difficult attack for Liverpool. Instead, by diving in, not sure why, as if Salah controls it, which he did, he was straight through and goal one-on-one. So it was very, very, very poor from Cancelo, but very, very good from Salah at the other end and Addison. But overall, I think Liverpool, when you look at the chances that were created, Liverpool definitely created better chances over the course of the game. Salah had the one-on-one. Jota had that clear header that he missed. Nunes with a disaster class of a cameo as you ever likely to see. Just absolutely dreadful. But he's one guy that people are going to enjoy watching, especially in this country where it's very much hustle and bustle, running around. He's definitely going to leave people entertained, even if half the time he doesn't seem to know what he's doing. He's very much a head down footballer, but he's a threat at the same time. He is always a threat, so I'll give him that. But yeah, I think City were poor. I think questions have to be asked about Pep. Not sure why he went to that three at the back. Not sure why he switched Cancelo from left back to right back or right wing back. Again, dropping Grealish when Grealish had been playing brilliantly recently. Dropping Grealish, putting Foden on the left when Foden has not been playing well on the left. But that Southampton game, Foden this season on the left has been pretty underwhelming. His best performances have come from the right-hand side. And then to have KDB, who's been playing as a 10, as the right side of a front three, was again strange. I don't know if he was trying to pay respect to Liverpool. I don't know if he saw Liverpool's recent 4-4-2 formation that they've been playing and thought, okay, maybe playing three at the back is the best way to combat the extra striker through the middle, as well as the two wide players. But it definitely did not work. There was an element of City's performance that was arguably almost even complacent, where, yeah, I felt from early on, the first 10, 15 minutes, that City were not at it. And Liverpool, the longer the game went on, just got more and more confident. And by the end, it looked like Liverpool could score more if they were just a bit more composed in certain situations. But yeah, no, big up to Liverpool because I think for them it's a huge win. I think someone was asking me yesterday as an Arsenal fan, who would I prefer to win, Liverpool or City? And I said I'd actually prefer City to win because I thought it would have been the nail in Liverpool's coffin. No, maybe not for the top four, but it would have been probably the nail in Liverpool's coffin in terms of finishing above Arsenal. But now that victory, they've got games this week against West Ham at home, and then I think it's Nottingham Forest away. So they've got a chance this week to really accumulate some points, really start, getting into a good rhythm, build up some confidence. Salah now has 4 goals in his last 2 games, including the Champions League, where he got that quick fire hat trick. Bobby Firmino's playing well. Nunes, like I said, he's a fresh. Jota getting injured is a bit of a blow for them. Again, he's not the best football player, but again, he is a threat. And he's another body, which they need with Diaz being out until after the World Cup. Um, so, yeah, I think overall, I would say for Liverpool was a very good win. I think they needed that. They needed to set some foundations, especially at the back. I noticed yesterday that they dropped a bit deeper. So when City did break the press through the middle, and Liverpool's pressing is still not anywhere near where it was last season or definitely the years before that. When City did kind of break through the lines of the midfield, sometimes Liverpool defense this season has been caught to remain high, try and catch them offside. But I think yesterday they were definitely more of the approach. Okay, if you break through the lines, we're gonna drop. We're gonna force you to drive at us and see what you can do, rather than we stay static in a line, and then the pass on is way more on. Which if you have, Milner at right back, as well as even though he was brilliant yesterday, if you put a ball in behind and you got him and Foden chasing, and Foden's probably going to win it. If you put a ball in behind for Haaland, he's probably going to win it. Um, so so yeah, I think the way Liverpool dropped as a defense when City broke through the lines was really good. Van Dijk and Gomez I thought were brilliant. I thought Robertson was also a very good outlet at left back, very solid, tenacious as he always is when he's at his best. Thiago got on the ball a lot, which was good. Liverpool needed that at times. Fabinho was better. I still think Fabinho's not been at his best for a good while now. Even when you go back to last season, I know Liverpool did so well in all comps, but Fabinho himself has not been at an elite level, I think, for a little while. But he was better yesterday as well. Harvey Elliott, even though at times you could see that his lack of pace on the wing hurt some of the counter attacks, he was always an outlet. He had very good ball retention, and he's just a very, very tidy footballer. And again, Jota was a threat on the left hand side as well. Um, so yeah, let me just add in Jeff. What are you saying, Jeff?
What's happening, man? You all good?
All good, my guy. What are you telling me?
Yeah, not bad, man. Sorry, I'm a bit late.
No worries, bro. No worries. We're just talking about the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
Um, just saying how I felt like Liverpool got stronger as the game went on.
Mm-hmm.
And that I felt like City, there were two things with City. One, I felt like they played complacent. And two, I didn't like the whole shifting of formation that Pep did. I feel like there were too many pieces he moved around. Like he switched Cancelo from left to right. He took out Grealish when he's been playing well recently. He moved Foden from the right back to the left where he hasn't been as good this season. He put KDB on the right hand side of a free, which I can't remember the last time we saw KDB playing right hand side.
It's been probably 5-6 years, it feels
Yeah,
like.
exactly. And so I don't know if it felt like to me Pep did a little bit of what he does sometimes in big games. He overthinks it, and I think maybe he paid a bit too much respect to Liverpool. Um, so I don't know what you think. I kind of feel like Pep kind of gave the game away because Liverpool, I felt like first half were there for the taking, but City seemed very relaxed. Like the goal's gonna come, completely forgetting that Liverpool are still a good team when they're firing.
Yeah, yeah, maybe the tinkering thing is a little part of it. I just think sometimes it's just not your day. Like, um, even Haaland had a few chances, like half chances, but they were good chances for him first off,
Yeah,
and just bad connections on the header. So one went straight at the keeper, one went like way over. But in the first half, he was giving that defense a problem. Like he was
yeah,
peeling off like
he
as
was
he
a threat.
does,
Yeah,
and KDB was finding it. Now, second half, like, I'm sure we'll get to the little VAR moment and stuff, but I felt like after that, Liverpool were back in the game, and then it's just a matter of who's going to strike first. But then when it gets to that moment, that long kick, that's just a bit of naive defending. So same way we've been, or Trent's been got at. I think I even said it. I think Cancelo and Trent, there's not much difference defensively. Like they're
No,
both amazing going forward, but just that rush to just want to get the ball when you could have really stood him up. If you stood off to your, because he already did the right thing. He dropped off on the kick, like he did everything he was meant to do, and then raced forward.
yeah,
So it's like you did everything right and then made a mistake. If you just stood off, stayed where you were 2 yards, you stand him up. I know it's Salah, but then you have three midfielders coming back, and then you can kind of like smother him out. So I felt like that was like the moment. But like even like Haaland had another chance in like the first half where like didn't get the, or second half, sorry, didn't get the cleanest collection, like left foot shot. So there were little moments like for City. So I think that the tinkering probably didn't help. But I felt like just that moment where like the goal was chalked off, like after that, Liverpool just got a foothold back in the game. And end of the day, like I know Liverpool haven't had the best of starts. It's still Liverpool. The system's still the system. Like, so even though there are a lot of players down, another one now, Jota seems to be injured, like it's still a very good system. They can still give anyone trouble. Like even last week they played well against Arsenal. For a large portion of that game, you could say that Liverpool probably deserved something out of it. We just closed the game in the right way. Like after we got the goal, we just shut up shop really well. But yeah, definitely a little dent to City, but at the same time, they're so far ahead of everyone else. I just see Arsenal as almost like Pacers in a way.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna be there for a little bit, and then as it gets to the business end of the season, like City have the depth to just overturn anybody. Like they can drop Haaland if they want, play Alvarez. They can drop Foden, play Grealish. They can drop Bernardo Silva, play Mahrez. They could drop KDB, could play Gundogan. They could do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's funny because on the Cancelo mistake, by the way, big up Wyo in the building saying, yo, I told you, man, about Arsenal. I called it time ago. Yeah, man, we'll speak about that in it because obviously I think that is now becoming a real topic of debate. So we'll speak about that. Big up our guy Sahan as well, saying, "Come on, boys, it's 6. This is fraudulence. Come on, my guy. We're only a few minutes late, bro. Don't watch that, man. Don't watch
Sorry,
that."
my boy.
But I was gonna say like it's funny because on the Cancelo mistake, as you said, at first he actually did the right thing to drop off, but it's almost crazy because him doing the right thing made him doing the wrong thing even worse later. Because if he just never backed off and stayed on Salah's neck, Salah would never be able to spin him. It was the fact he went back. By the time he got there, it was too late. Like you stay with him and you take on the gamble of the ball goes over your head and then you're both chasing it, which in that one, you've got more of a risk of maybe a foul and a red card. But what he did probably the worst combo you can do. Drop off and then sprint, giving the guy enough time to turn you. Like
it's very indecisive, very
so bad what he did.
I'm not gonna lie, that turn from like that Salah, another one who's been getting criticism, but that's just where they say form is temporary, class is permanent to me. Because that looked like the Salah last season to me. Like he was troubling City all game.
Yeah, they played him through the middle yesterday, innit?
Yeah, so he was like on their shoulder. And like there was one moment where like in the first half, probably like 10 minutes, where he just got the ball and he like went past a few players, he knocked someone over. And then from that moment, you're like, all right.
His strength is ridiculous.
It's very, very strong.
His upper body strength is ridiculous. But I think it's a funny one because with Salah, because I've seen quite a few Liverpool fans saying like, you know, this is what happens when you play him more through the middle. And I think in a weird way, it's kind of all this time we've heard from Liverpool fans saying Salah's the true classic winger. But when this season Klopp actually played him more of as a touchline winger, that's when everyone's been complaining he can't do the all-around game. So I think it's been good in a way that he actually hasn't played well because people can now just appreciate him for the strengths that he has, which is to find those gaps in between the left back and the centre back, pick it up on the run, where he's very hard to stop because he can shift it onto his left very quick on the run,
Very.
very strong, and you give him enough chances, he's bagging. No one thought he was missing the second one.
No.
Nobody thought he was missing the second one.
That finish is underrated too. That's a very good
He
finish.
clipped it because he clipped it a bit. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a cold finish.
Very cold finish. Like even like when they the complaints of him not being an out and out winger or is him not shining, I just think his game's evolved, man. Like at a point, I think he was that. Like maybe better
Maybe his
stretching
first-
teams out.
Maybe his first year at Liverpool, I think he was more of a stretch guy.
Yeah, like because that was what he was used to. Like
From Roma,
I'm gonna say like, please don't take what I'm saying too literally, yeah. But you see, like Ronaldo like transitioned.
Yeah.
It's similar to that to me. Like, of course,
yeah.
It's I'm not comparing it just for
no. I know. Don't worry. Oh yeah. You're clarifying it for the people.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think at a point you might have been one type of player. Like 8 years ago, it was Salah was a trickster. That was what people used to say. Like he was a tricky kind of winger. Like he had skills and all that kind of stuff. And then you see him at Chelsea, he wasn't really that. It didn't work out the way it did. He went away, went to Serie A, tore it up there. And now he's just kind of seen as efficiency.
Yeah, he's efficiency.
That's what it is. Like it might be, there's a lot of moments, even towards the end of last season, where we were saying that he's not playing well. Like after that moment where there was like 3 weeks of him saying, or everyone saying he's the best in the world and all that kind of stuff, then it kind of like when the new year came after the African Cup of Nations, he just wasn't the same. But at the same time, you're not going to stop playing him because you know what the potential output could be. Like 5 years in the Prem speaks to it. Like you don't score that many goals just playing well every week. Like when the going gets tough, you still find the net. That's what a good player does.
Yeah, no, totally. And why I was saying, Salah's touch is immense. I think Salah's touch in the air is actually very underrated. It's funny with Salah, like there's some things that he does, like his touch from the sky, that is elite. His touch from the sky is elite. But then you see him sometimes basic passes on the floor, give it away. And that's why I think where the frustration comes in, because his touch from the air, he rarely miscontrols it.
He's good at that. He's like, you see, like Torres, didn't have the best of touches, but then at certain moments, Torres' touch was great.
Yes, it's like at the key moments, the touch is fantastic.
Yeah, it's like when it's crunch time a lot of the time, the touch is good. But then just normal, like if you're appreciative of just like technique
aesthetics
and stuff, like that kind of stuff, and it's just like, bro, this touch looks dodgy. Like, why is he controlling it like that?
Yeah, I think 100%. I think that's what it is a bit with Salah. Big up Ed in the building saying, "LOL, Harvard just clocked Jeff looks like Gabriel Jesus."
I don't even know do I look like him.
I mean, maybe I can see some of what Ed's saying still. Yeah, maybe.
Snap.
Okay, say no more, man. Like Jeff, aka Gabriel Jesus, and that. Salah is a gun, man. Yeah, no, he wanted his goal yesterday. When he missed that first one-on-one that he should have passed to Jota, let's not get that twisted. He should have passed. Jota was on, bro. He had to pass it, bro.
Man. All right, put it this way. All right, if you're if you're a goal guy, I'm not even looking. Like if I'm probably 18 yards from goal, but I'm 1-on-1. I'm probably not passing it.
I hear it. No, don't get me wrong. A lot of strikers are not passing that. I hear that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think he should have passed it.
Yeah. That Jota wasn't best pleased.
No, he wasn't. But then again, Salah gave him a brilliant cross 5 minutes later that Jota should be bagging.
The header where it went wide.
Yeah.
That clip was, again, that just, he's a strange guy, man. He really is.
Yes, because that clip, the way he did it was so delicate that it's like, wow. You think he had mad technique. Yeah. But then again, he'll do something mad afterwards. Like, Salah's a funny player, man. But he's
a strange guy.
In his own way, Salah is a top player. You can't
top player, 100%.
Can't take that away from him. I'm supporting Arsenal this season. Actually, watching them rather than the bums in Manchester. Yeah, Man United are a bit mad still. Can't lie.
That game was nuts, but I'm sure we'll get to it.
If you're 1-on-1, you don't pass, especially if you're a striker. Nah, man. I'm sorry. I can't fully agree with that. I can't fully agree with. I've seen sometimes strikers not passing that incidents. instance costing teams, man. I'm telling you,
But
that year Arsenal didn't win the league in '08. Bro, I will always go back to this. We were winning 2-1 at Birmingham. Remember when Aldo broke his leg?
yeah, I
We were winning
remember that.
2-1 at Birmingham, yeah?
Mm.
Adebayo had a one-on-one at 2-1, 10 minutes to go. He had Bentner, free for a tapping, clearest tapping ever. Adebayo shot, saved, game ends 2-2, last minute penalty. We crumble after that. Small margins like that. You get the win in that game, all of a sudden solidarity. Now afterwards, you draw, teams down, your striker's broken his leg, and you got two-man beefing up top. So I don't know, man. Like sometimes I think if you're in and you got a man free, like Messi's passing that.
But then,
Passing it.
as mad as it sounds, Messi enjoys creation more than goals.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, to be
Like,
fair, then again, it's Messi, innit? Like Messi.
yeah, and he's just one of those kind of guys, it seems like. But if you're like my gunman, like, and if you could say you haven't been playing well, it's gonna look like you're passing a buck if you pass it. Because then if the guy misses, they're gonna look at you and be like, why didn't you shoot? So in that
It's true.
situation,
You can't really win.
yeah, you kind of have to just take the bullet and just shoot.
Yeah. Nah, bro. If your striker don't shoot there, he's not a striker. I hear it. I do hear it, man. I just remember thinking first straight away. I remember thinking he should have passed there, but he didn't. So man, anyway, he got the winner. Salah got the winner. So let's not focus on that too much. Let's talk a little bit about Haaland, because our guy Lamps, big up Lamps. He was very critical of Haaland yesterday, saying Haaland's no better than Lukaku. He's overrated. He's an awful footballer in reality. So what did you make of Haaland's performance yesterday? Because I did think Haaland was very poor from a technical standpoint yesterday, but he still could have scored on another day 2 or 3 goals. So why else saying Haaland is in Gomez's pocket? Yeah, Gomez and Van Dijk. You know what? It's a funny one. They did a great job, but I still didn't feel like he was quite in their pocket. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no, he wasn't. Because and that's the thing, like, with someone that good, like you can't really have them completely quiet, especially when you got a KDB behind him. Like because even if you think you've got him, like you could argue and say Man City's best moments were all Haaland. Like
yes,
they were,
yeah.
The goal is Haaland, like because the ball gets played through. It's just his athleticism that makes it a debate. With the keeper.
Yes.
So like, all right, the Lamps thing about saying that he is Lukaku, yeah, it's a stretch. Like you can say we all know his touch isn't great. Like no, it's just not. Like that's not what he's great. He's a throwback striker. That's what he is. He's a bully. He's very, very fast, like off the mark, like kind of scarily quick. But he has a lot to work on. He's still like 22 years of age. Will his touch get amazingly better? Probably not. But it'll probably like get better as he's playing with like a City, because a lot of their play is more intricate. Like a few times, even when he did set it, like it's just not the crisp set you would expect. Like it's a bit bobbly. It's not the best. But at the same time, that you can say that he didn't play very well, but his job is City is just to score goals. So judging off that, you can say, all right, you had probably 3 clear chances for you, even if you're not clear chances for someone else. You probably expect him to take one, especially in the form he's in. Like 15 and 10 is a madness, especially in the first 10.
Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%. There was even one first half where he got out of a good situation and he had Foden free on the left, and the pass was so like poorly weighted where it forced Foden to come back and force Foden on his right. Whereas if it's a normal pass, Foden's taking a touch, he's probably slotting it. And those things don't even come up in like the match of the day like chances, because it didn't materialize into a chance. But if you watch the game, you know that could have been a chance. So I think those are the elements where he needs to improve. I remember when I first saw Haaland years ago at Dortmund, I called him immediately an upgraded version of Lukaku.
Mm.
That is the way I saw him because Lukaku's never really been on the bully job, if we're being honest.
Not fully. Like for
That
his
kind of guy.
size, he could do much more. Like Lukaku could be a menace if he wanted to be. Like I
If
think
he
it's a
was,
lot to. I think it's a lot to do with just general like understanding of the game. Like
had
because
to,
Lukaku is young. Like he was on the scene at like 17, but I think he's just always been used a certain way. Like he's quick, he can get away. But if you hone his skills, like he was good, like really good back to goal, like those kind of things, then he would have been better. Like he's
yeah,
still, to me, he's still a top striker. Like he's not the best, but you know what you're gonna get from a Lukaku. Like
yeah,
yeah, I'd probably say yeah, Haaland's probably it's a big upgrade. Like
yeah,
because Haaland's top class.
yeah. Why are asking? Interested to hear your thoughts on Harvey Elliott. I thought he was decent yesterday.
I
He's a
like
tiny
that
little
young boy.
footballer. He's
I
a
like that guy,
tiny,
man.
tiny little footballer. I don't think obviously he's not a winger,
Nah,
but
he's one
he
of
did a good
those.
job. Bro.
Yeah, like for a young player, he's another one who's got like very, very good understanding of like what
Yeah,
to do. Like he's played centre mid, he's played on the right, like and you're
it's
playing for
true. Yeah,
Liverpool.
that is
Like
true.
and he come back from a big injury and hasn't really
Yeah,
missed a beat since he's been back. Like he looks very comfortable. Um like the Curtis Joneses and stuff, like they were meant to be like the next start for like Liverpool. I don't think it's him anymore. I think Harvey Elliott would be the guy who would get a lot of game time
yeah. No, Harvey Elliott is a better footballer, I think, than Curtis
by
Jones.
far.
Yeah, he seems more intelligent footballer as well, much more disciplined, knows how to play the positions well that he's asked to. So yeah, I thought he was really good yesterday.
Yeah, man.
Um, yeah, I think Liverpool, all in all, had a lot of good, very good performances. City it was just a bit lackluster. It's not that they were bad; they
Yeah,
just need to be better to win that game. I think.
I agree. Who was your man of the match?
Ooh, man of the match. I'll probably say either Gomez or Van Dijk.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'll probably say one of them two. Because I think first half attacking in Liverpool didn't do much. You could see there was potential,
Mm,
but I think it was when they got that first Salah one-on-one. That's when they woke up offensively.
I think so.
That's
I think you're right.
that's when they woke up. So that's why I think over consistency over 90 minutes, I'll probably give it to either Gomez or Van Dijk. Milner was also very good at right back, to be fair.
That was my man of the match.
Yeah,
I think like he doesn't get enough credit at all. Like James Milner, like he's 20 years in.
yeah, 20 years in.
He's
He's 20
20
years
years
into his
in.
grind. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's the fittest player at Liverpool at 30. He's 36 now, no?
I think 36 or 35, one of them two. Might be
Like
36.
like you play everywhere. You've been at the two most successful teams, or like in the past decade or whatever you want to put it. Like City are great. You was there. You've been at Liverpool. You've been great. Like you can play in numerous positions, and you know exactly what's expected of you in certain like instances. Like say like last year, I think Foden cooked Milner, yeah, for most of
Yes.
that game. He cooked him.
Cooked him.
This year, this year, like Foden's been in great form. He had a hard time.
He did. He did. And that's the thing with Milner, man. Milner is like, if you look back at his career, Newcastle, very good player, you know.
Hello.
Um, Aston Villa, for me, Aston Villa Milner is still my favorite James Milner.
He was great there.
That
Really good.
centre mid Aston Villa James Milner was, oh, I love that Milner. He was fantastic.
That's where you got to see his best football.
Yeah, and they were finishing fifth back then, so it's not like
Yeah.
they were finishing fifth. Then he got City. Anytime City need him, dependable. Like he is dropping sevens on the wing. Then he comes to Liverpool, plays left back for a whole season, hardly gets ripped, goes in the middle, tops the Champions League assists for the middle. The first year they made champs. Always reliable, dependable. Like I've always liked Milner. I can't lie as a player.
Hey, that's one of those model professionals who just get slept on because he's just basic. No, he's really not. Like, he can do a lot more. He just knows
Yeah.
what's expected of him in a team. Like, if you've got, let's say you got a KDB or you got a Thiago and stuff, it's important that people know their role. That's a lot of the reason why I think Henderson's lost his place, because I think he's now, like, you had your moments where like you're playing great passes and that because you're just in a purple patch, but you're not that guy. You're just not. Like, you're not the guy. You're not the guy who we should be expecting 60-yard balls from consistently, or threaded, weighted 25-yard passes. That's Thiago. Give it to him.
Yeah, literally. No, and that's it. And that's like when Milner was at City, he was playing with David Silva's, Yaya Touré's. He knew, I know what my role is. And Milner, when he was on the wing, he could do a job. Left foot, right foot, whip us both. Nah, proper player, man. And that's why sometimes it even bothers me when a lot of the times now he gets put together with Henderson. And I'm just like, let's be honest. When Milner was at his best, he was clear of Henderson.
Henderson can't see Milner in his prime.
Milner can't see it. So
no way.
Let's give a shout out to Milner there, man. I think he deserves it. And I think
100%.
Yesterday was brilliant. Ed saying, I reckon World Cup gonna fuck Arsenal's confidence up. Boy, let's get on to Arsenal, man. Obviously, 1-0 win yesterday. A bit of a scrape. Probably didn't deserve to win. Probably should have lost. When you look at it, the second half, probably should have lost.
They missed 5 or 6 clear chances.
Including a penalty, another almost penalty fiasco at the end with Gabriel and with Bamford. Saka, great goal from their mistake. Brilliant finish, brilliant pass from Odegaard. I think Arsenal now top of the table, 4 points. I'm sure you saw the group chat yesterday, Jeff. Our guy was saying, what you guys saying, Arsenal title contenders. Why have your expectations dropped so much that you're only accepting top 4? So what do you make of that, man? Do you think, all right, at what point do Arsenal become title contenders? For me, I'm gonna say this: if after 20 games Arsenal are still 3 points within 3 points of the lead, then I can say, cool, we're in the title challenge. We still probably won't win it, but at that point, I'll say we are title contenders. I think right now, I haven't forgotten, even though it does feel different, I haven't forgotten when in the COVID year, if you remember, Tottenham started on fire under Mourinho.
Yep.
Top of the table, Gary Neville and that saying, yo, is Mourinho about to do something special? Where did they finish that season?
7th. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I know what it is. Like, opposing fans have this like Jedi mind trick with like Arsenal fans, so it's like, so it's like, you lot are playing sick. Then when you're realistic, it's like, you got no confidence, man. And then if you got like the overconfident fan, and then he's talking his shit to them, then it's be like, look at you guys, you lot are bums, man. Look at you, Arsenal just being Arsenal. So it's just like, I try my best to, like, even the group chat, I didn't respond. I just leave it all alone, because it's just like, I know what you're doing. Like, I know how I feel about it. Like, I'm realistic. Like, I've seen Arsenal drop the ball too many times to now get overzealous. With 10 games, like, it just don't work like that. But I will say this: like, winning a game in that fashion, like getting the 3 points, says that we are maturing as a team. A year or two ago, we probably lose that game 2 or 3-1.
Yeah, 2 or 3-1,
because we didn't carve out the best of chances. Like, from front to back, like, no one really had a good game. Like, Jesus wasn't at his best. You can tell he's probably forcing it playing because he was like lucky to even make the squad because he's like apparently has a knock. Saka had his little moments here and there.
I thought he was decent. I thought Saka was decent.
I think for the most part, Saka's always dangerous. Even the start of the season, like the few games where he wasn't playing his best, he's still dangerous. That's why he plays. Odegaard, again, had his moments, but by like the second half, they were onto him. Like, they realized if you stop Odegaard, you kind of stop the attack. So they were all over him. Partey was a bit isolated in the middle a lot of the time, especially like midway through that second half, until Xhaka decided to, or Arteta told Xhaka to sit back then that's what made it a little bit better. But for large portions, like we know Partey can do that job alone quite well. Like he doesn't need that much support. But Leeds have legs, like, and it's kind of like they've taken that Bielsa thing and they've kind of like probably even made it a bit better
More
under this
solid now,
manager.
more solid. They just
Yeah,
can't score. They can't score.
yeah, they
But
have
they're
a
more
problem.
solid.
Yeah, they have a problem scoring, but yeah, they're gonna give teams problems like at Ellen Road because they're just willing to outwork you. That's what they did. So like all of our players who we've been calling out as really really good all season, like Saliba had a very average game, maybe even below average. Yeah, like gave away a pen, a few like hairy moments. Of course, I think Gabriel was the better centre back, like bar that moment of madness. I don't even know what to call that. That was complete foolishness between the both of them. That was
Yeah,
a complete idiocy. I don't know what that was, but I
yeah.
actually thought he played better in yesterday's
That's it,
game.
yeah.
I think Tomiyasu had a tough first half. Like they were targeting his side, kind of looked a little awkward and not just kind of to be expected. Like you're on the opposing side. Like I'm not expecting you to be great in your build up. You're just gonna kind of get the job done. So like he had a tough first half. I think he was really, really good the second half. And I think it even Leeds they changed because they were attacking Tomiyasu's side. It was working. Then second half, they tried it for a few minutes. It wasn't working. Then you went to Ben White's side. And Ben White, because normally Arsenal have the ball a lot, like we're just bombing forward. He was just getting caught out a few times where they're just playing a 30-yard ball into space. And now the defense is a bit disjointed.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think it's one of those games where Leeds played well, you give them credit. Arsenal had to kind of hang on. You're not always going to be at your best. Sometimes you're
Mm.
going to have, like we saw it so many times over the years, like with Man United on the Fergie, Chelsea on the Mourinho, even us sometimes on the Wenger,
Mm-hmm.
even sometimes City and Liverpool on the Pep and Klopp. Like you have games where you're like, they should have lost today, man. You get annoyed, but they don't. They win.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's what Arsenal did yesterday, then fair enough. You can't always play at your best. I think even for Saliba, made a mistake, gave away a pen, managed to get away with it. It's a good learning, another lesson for him to say, look, I'm not always going to get away with making mistakes like that. Either at
Exactly.
Arsenal, maybe even at France, make a mistake like that, you could go out World Cup.
Yep, that's a
Um,
fact.
Such fine margins. So, yeah, I think overall Arsenal will just be happy to take on the 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And now, to be honest with you, I do expect Arsenal to go into the World Cup break top of the table.
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. I think yeah, top four should still be, or top three, top four should be the aim this season. Like whilst we're still
I think top
maturing,
three. I think Arsenal can definitely.
yeah,
You know what?
we've
I
got a
said
shot, but
definitely, but then again, I'm
Chelsea
thinking Chelsea are coming back a bit,
and so are Spurs. Like
and
Spurs are
so are
right there
Spurs.
too.
The same
So
points as City.
yep. So it's one of those like you can say Spurs. So we were saying a few weeks ago that Spurs fans are not happy that the way they're playing. Listen, if you get to a certain spot with Conte, you know what Conte is like. You know what he's gonna bring. It's not pretty, but it's successful.
Yeah,
Um, and Chelsea, like Potter seems so he's got off to a good start. Like can't judge it too well because they done that under Tuchel well as well, where like they got a great start, won the Champions League, all of that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of see where that goes. But yeah, I'll say top three definitely isn't cemented, but for top four, we definitely got a good start. I'd say like we
yeah.
got a great shot at like yo Resh, what's happening, bro?
What is happening, people? How you doing?
What you saying,
All good.
Rashford?
How
What
are
you
you?
saying?
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
No
You
worries,
know,
bro.
daddy duty, daddy duty. Don't
Yeah,
Hey,
stop. You
no
know.
gotta do
worries,
what you
bro.
gotta do, bro.
We were just talking about Arsenal. And we're just saying that it looks like heading into the international break, Arsenal, unless they mess up badly, they will probably finish the international break top of the table before the World Cup. So I guess it's just your thoughts on that. And well, first of all, whether you think Arsenal title contenders, because that was like I was saying to Jeff, you're in the same group chat we were in yesterday. You know, our friend Mus was asking the question, saying like, you know, Why do you not want to say you're going for the title? You guys are scared. You know what I'm saying? None of us replied funnily enough. You know
Nope.
what I'm saying? We all left it. But yeah, our Arsenal title contenders. Are we shook for not saying we're title contenders? And yeah, your thoughts on the game as well.
So our Arsenal title contender. I tell you what, City are still favourites. I'll tell you that much. And I think everyone who has an advantage in regards to points is a contender at that time. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So at the moment, we are at the top of the Premier League, and I guess we are competing to keep that spot because we are there.
Yeah.
Um, do I think that Arsenal are the ones who are going to win the league? I don't think that we are quite there yet for me to say that. And the reason why is because even obviously even in the game that we had against Leeds, which was great that we managed to grind out the result and show a little bit of resolve, that we can be pin backed and still see the result over the line. But at the same time, it also shows that we are not the force that a lot of people think that we are at the moment, and we aren't defensively as sound as everyone thought we were as well. Um, when you look at the big teams who do contend for the titles, the Manchester Cities or the Liverpools of the world, and even the Chelseas of the world, in their games that they don't win and that are difficult games, it's more like it's an end-to-end game. You don't really see these teams get pinned back for as long as Arsenal were
Yeah.
pinned back over in the game. They were really pinned back for like literally the whole second half. So I haven't seen City be pinned back that way, like in a very long time. I haven't seen Liverpool be pinned back. I've seen them compete and just lose. Yeah, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen Chelsea have a boring game and they might not lose. They might lose within 20 minutes of a game, but then they spend the rest of the game trying to chase the game and they don't, and they end up losing. But we was pinned back, man, and because of that reason, it makes me think, okay, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done in some crucial areas, game-winning areas, and it's all good just knowing, okay, we uh, we've got good game management when these times come, and Arteta knows the right decisions to make in order to make us hold the result. Yeah, that's okay, but we shouldn't be getting leveraged like that against Leeds, who are nowhere near to where we are at the moment. So um, I don't think we are title contenders. It's fun being where we are at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's nice for a change. But a lot of that I think is because also is that, I mean, we're talking about Arsenal people of being afraid to say that we are title contenders. If you know your team inside out, why are you going to get gas on something where you know your team has had past issues in regards to holding on to points, seeing it out through the whole season, being able to keep a form throughout the whole season and not trip up towards the later ends of it. Do you know what I mean? We've had that experience with Arsenal so many times, so
Yeah.
many years. We've had better squads than what we've had right now as well in
Yes.
the past, and we've had these problems as well. So it's not that we are scared to say that we're title contenders. It's just that we're not stupid.
Yeah, but just be realistic.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's like if you know if you got Bridgen in the group and he does some mad stuff now and again, and when he does it, you're not shocked. You're not shocked. So when he's having a good spell in life and he's not getting into trouble, you still might be a little bit okay. You're still
Apprehensive,
waiting
right?
on him to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
something crazy until
yeah.
he passes that time. And I say, okay, yeah, you've changed. We don't
Yeah.
know that we've changed yet. We've always
Exactly.
had good runs throughout the years at some points in the
Yeah.
season. It's just let's just see what happens, isn't it? Like I just
Yeah.
know I'm happy not to be a fan of the other teams right now, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's well said. I just think, yeah,
Mhm.
it's like just being there's nothing wrong with being a realistic fan. I think
Mm,
there is an element where that's gone nowadays. You can't be realistic because then you're just cussed either way.
mhm,
Um, So, but yeah, I mean, realistically, we're only 10 games in. We haven't been to City away. We haven't been to Spurs away. We ain't been to Chelsea away. We ain't been to who's the other team?
Liverpool.
Liverpool away.
Maybe in Anfield, yeah.
We ain't been Anfield. Like we ain't even been to Newcastle yet.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what I mean?
like because there's so many crazy Arsenal fans that everyone wants to tell you like the same brush. So if you don't say what they want you to say, then you kind of just get clowned for it. But
Yeah.
you just gotta keep your opinion on it. Like I don't think any of us believe we're gonna or think. I won't say believe. We don't think we're gonna win the title. Like
Nah.
we just don't. Like I'd say I've even said in the group chat, if we get the top 3, top 4 this year, I think we have a squad where next year we get the investment we need. I'm gonna talk crazy to a lot of fans at the start of the season. I'm gonna say that.
I agree. Yeah. I think top 3 Arsenal can definitely get that this year. But and that's not really good to say because if you get top 3, you naturally get top 4.
Yeah, exactly. So like if we like it's the few things though. It's like if we need to wrap up these 3 contracts. So that's Martinelli and Saka and Saliba. I think Martinelli and Saka will get done. I think Saliba might be a little bit more tricky, like to get done, because there's teams already like there's all the teams want him, like every single one. So that one is going to be a little bit more difficult.
Would you give because I think Saka and Martinelli is looking both of them like 200k a week, isn't it? Are we happy with that? No problems. I guess that's the.
I'm past the days of the players deserve it. Like if you see like the amount that the different kind of transfers going on, like Nunes is 85 million, Grealish is 100. The market is just what it is. So like a year's good form could put you as a 70, 80 million pound rated player.
I mean, that's literally what happened to Nunes, isn't it?
Yeah. So like Saka, for example, is 2-3 years of consistency as a young player. He was our main outlet for a year or 2, and he's still one of our main outlets. He more than certainly has earned 200k a week.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it, to be honest. As long as you secure their deals. Arsenal have been accused of underspending anyway, so it's probably about time that we pay players what the market dictates, whether that's fair or not. That's probably what they've earned in it. So
yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I've got thoughts on young players earning lots of money. You know what I'm trying to say, and the counsel that they receive whilst they earn that money, and the guidance. But as you guys have said, he's actually earned it. If we look at what he's been to Arsenal and what he's done in the last few years compared to a lot of the other players across the Premier League who earn more than what he does currently, then you'd say, okay, he definitely has earned that sort of pay increase. And the good thing about that is that when you are earning that amount of money and the contract's long, you don't have to worry about having to increase that. Okay, if you've done the contract to this period of time and this is how much you are scheduled to get over that course of time, then that's one less thing to worry about. You can say, okay, 200 a week is the ceiling that he's going to get at Arsenal, which isn't bad. You know what I mean? Because it could be that the contract doesn't get done now and it gets done in a year, when he will then have a little bit left on the contract left where he'll have a lot of options just to walk. But he can then demand a lot more than that at that period of time because he's then putting us on the 6. So 200 a week for a player like Saka for an extensive time, I reckon it'll be to something like 27 or something like that. Something
that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, along the lines of that or more. So yeah, I think that will be a good deal. And like you guys have said, he earned it.
Think of it this way, like Saka or Martinelli, in a year or 18 months' time, if you get the contract signed, they're probably 100 million a piece. If they continue at the trajectory they're continuing at. So what's 200k a week?
Exactly. And considering it as a business, if we just take the football away from it and just see it as Arsenal Football Club, the business, they're talking about this bit of investment to get the money that they're going to get when they are ready to sell these guys. It's definitely
Big
worth the
earning
investment.
potential, like
Mhm.
huge earning potential. So like, yeah, you just gotta I think we just gotta suck it up, man. Like I know we got our policy. 200K in comparison to a lot of other teams is still very
Chump
good.
change.
Yeah, so like it's
Sancho's on,
not a bad.
Sancho's on 350 at United, I swear, something like that.
Yep, and Rashford's on 300 and has been since 2020. And Rashford hasn't really been playing well since 2020.
I have a feeling
Mm.
Rashford might be earlier. I think him and Martial have been on around 250 since 2019.
Or maybe it's that, yeah, because I remember that Rashford it gets to 300 on bonuses. I think his base is like
Oh, right.
225,
Wow. Didn't even know that.
250.
Yeah, because
And
him
then
and Martial signed a new contract around the same time after they had that good season together on the Ollie. United
yeah.
just said, "Oh, let's splash the cash and give them the wages in it." So,
So
yeah,
yeah, man, you just gotta like if we're serious about where we're trying to go, which it seems like we are, like we're definitely more serious that we gotta tie it down, man. Like hopefully before the end of the year, like especially with I don't know about the Saliba one. I still think that one's gonna be a bit tricky. That you see PSG are in for him and stuff.
yeah,
I,
that.
I think with that one, I think that depends on the player management, the relationship that the player has with Arteta and the squad and the surroundings, because it's not like he's not getting offers from big clubs where he can achieve what he wants to achieve in his career. But it's just whether his heart is attached to the place, the project, the players, he actually wants to see this out. He wants to be a part of it. He sees himself as a part of it. These things are going to be the things that keep him at Arsenal. It's not going to be whether Arsenal can throw the cash, because they will. It's not whether they're going to give him the length of time that he wants, because they will give him a long-term contract as well. They will
Facts.
give him the bonuses. They will give him all of that. It's all going to be about the player's relationship with the club and whether he feels like he can have a better bond with another club or not.
Yeah, and there's still this element, as we all know, that French players like being at Arsenal.
Yeah.
They do. It's just when you just because this is his third year at Arsenal technically.
Oh yeah,
So
technically, yeah.
so it's just how does he view his first 2 years? Like, is he over it, or is it still in the back of his mind that you man did me dirty for 2 years?
I reckon he might have got past that point. I just think when PSG get involved, that's your home country naturally. But I
Stuff.
think he's got to assess the landscape well, man. Because PSG, we saw what happened last week. All those random Mbappe stuff. He wants to leave again. Which he definitely made sure was leaked, because when the press all get it at once, that's someone with Mbappe circle that let them know that. So there's something going on there with the Mbappe thing. Messi's contract runs out in the summer. I think he's going to go back to Barca.
They're trying to get together in it. They're trying
Yeah.
their best to get funds.
Exactly. Which so yeah, man. I don't know if I'm Saliba, I would think twice about PSG, to be honest. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
also
sure.
important about his ambitions as well, because look, across Europe, to me, the Prem's the best league across Europe. Okay, I think that there's ones that are close, but Bundesliga is definitely not near in its totality, nowhere near the Premier League.
No, Bundesliga, no. Bundesliga.
Yeah, the French league, I think, the French league and the Italian league are quite competitive, but I still think the Premier League is better. I reckon a lower end of the table Premier League team could give a higher end of the table Italian or French team a hard game, if not beat them, because we're seeing that happen in the Premier League now. And
Yeah. So
you
naturally,
understand? So,
yeah.
but I don't reckon the lower teams in those leagues can beat the top teams in the Premier League. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I just think it depends on his ambition, if he thinks that if PSG come for him, if he thinks, okay, it doesn't matter, I'm actually in the elite league here. Why would I go there when people are aspiring to leave there to come here? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it just
Exactly.
depends on how he views it as well. So yeah.
I just think if Saliba went to Barca or Madrid, I'll be like, cool, I get it, man. Everyone wants to play for them too. But if you go PSG, I'm just like, so early on. It's a bit like I don't know, man.
It's just the easy route. He would have ended up there if he stayed in France. Everyone who's the best players end up at PSG anyway. So it's just
still can down the line anyway because he's 21. So even for him, it might be in his like if we go where I think we could go, then if you're a part of this good budding young team for a year or two, and then you decide, I done what I needed to do here. Like I've spent 5 years here, I done what I needed. Then bounce. It's fine.
It's fine, 100%, man. Big up DJ in the building saying PSA, ugly win, 10 down, 28 to go. Keep up the good work, lads. Come on.
Right on time, bro.
Big up DJ, man. Always here. And bro, every week he's looking right, man. He started when it was 37 to go. It's now 28. That's kind of mad. Can't lie. Big up DJ, though, man. Smash the likes, people, as well. And as Ed says, top 4 is secured. It's your title to lose.
Yeah. I know what this is. More Jedi mind tricks.
The title doesn't belong to us. It's City's to lose, if I remember correctly.
So yeah, man. But let's touch on the United game quickly. The United Newcastle game, because I was watching that at the same time as the Arsenal one. It was kind of boring, to be honest. It was pretty bad. What do you guys make of United, man? Like, I don't really know. Like, what? I don't really know. I know Rash is laughing, but
man.
Do you know why I'm laughing? Because the match was so dead. I watched like 15 minutes of it and turned it over. I didn't watch that game.
To be fair, you didn't miss anything.
That game,
damn thing.
Yeah,
I watched a little bit more. It was a terrible match.
Terrible.
One thing I know, is that time is a heavy commodity that we are losing. We don't have no blessing in time no more. It just runs away from us. I'm not wasting my time watching that trash. I'm not wasting my time watching that trash at all. Yeah, I had better things to do.
Fair enough. To be fair, there's actually not much to say on the game. It was
just highlights the inconsistencies and how poor VAR is. That's all I took away from this game.
So did they win or draw or lose?
No.
Oh, okay. It was a draw. Okay.
Yeah. Did you think that was a penalty, Wilson, Jeff?
That was a penalty. Ronaldo's one
was a penalty.
There was like a tangle. That was a penalty. Sancho's one was a penalty.
Yes.
I just don't understand how none of them were penalties.
Yeah.
Like, both teams should have had penalties, but VAR just decides, nah. Like, even the Leeds one, they scored. Like, Bamford scored in the build-up. Was it my man? The 7? Aronson, is it?
Was offside. He
was clearly offside. They didn't pick it up. Like, that's all I took away. Like, I'll talk about United's performance. Like, it wasn't good. Let's just say that they weren't good. Newcastle, I guess, would be happy with a draw at Old Trafford in any circumstance. It's a good result. And they're in the same kind of position that they're really close to each other. So just good to just take a point off them at home. Like, United is still, they're kind of where we were when we got Arteta. Like, in that, they're like, I think Ten Hag has a plan of what he wants to do, but you just have a lot of players who just shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, even if they're good on ability, like, I'm even tired of calling this guy out. Luke Shaw should not be there.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't matter what he does. Like, he's finished to me. Like, and it's not because of ability. Because on ability, he's one of the best left backs in the country. It's because he doesn't care at all. Yeah. He just turns up. It's literally like he comes to the office, he punches in, he don't speak to none of his teammates.
And he
eats lunch by himself and he bounces. That's what he does. Yeah. And I think there's a few players like that. Like, even like Dalot. All right, Dallow's okay. He shouldn't be playing. No, he's not good enough.
Some United fans were saying he was making a case for top 3 best right backs in the league.
Yeah, United fans like him.
United fans really do like him.
Top 3 right backs in the league. So it's not Cancelo, Trent, and James, no?
No.
It's Diogo Dalot.
Diogo Dalot. Yes.
You know, we're just taking the mick. He mentions the full name.
Full name.
Full name.
Full name.
Nah, it's just mad. Like even all right with the Bruno conversation, because I know how you guys feel about Bruno.
I
Like,
just can't be bothered anymore with him. Again, Rush said it, man. Time is a valuable asset.
yeah,
I'm talking about that guy, man.
but like I think he's a really good player, but in this system, he's got to buck up his ideas and fast because otherwise he's gone.
Bro, it's at the point with Bruno that even if he starts being a quality player from now to the end of his career, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, literally.
Like, I don't care, bro. Oh, Bruno said, I don't care, bro.
Yeah, literally. Like,
I hear it though. I hear it because feel like he has a lot of ability as a player, but it just seems like what he's being asked to do in terms of like keep the ball retention. Like we always know his ball retention just isn't that. Like he's almost a second striker cam. Like he's more interested in goals. That's what he really wants to do.
Yep.
That's where he's had the success. And in this system where the roles are more pronounced, if that's the right word, like you know what is expected of you from the manager in terms of like, all right, keep the ball, this and that. Like Bruno, he hasn't got long. Like if it gets to about January and he hasn't fixed up, don't be surprised if by the end of the year, if Ten Hag's still in charge, which I think he probably will be, Bruno's gone because you're on a short leash. Like you're good as a player. I'm not gonna ever say he's a bad player because he has ability. He does. He's shown it. But in terms of what's being asked to do and in the systems teams play, you don't have the luxury of just consistently giving the ball away.
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of what he does. And when you're the hub, like they're looking to you for like the little bit of inspiration. Like, and instead of that, like Eriksen's getting all the plaudits. And a year ago, Eriksen had a life-threatening moment. Like, he's come back and he's already looking like the glue that your team needs. And then the guy who you expect to be great is just having average performances. Like he's working hard, but his output's not good enough, really.
Yeah. And it's the output is not good enough. The level of performance is not good enough. And also he's a constant moaner as well. He's always moaning, always crying for free kicks. Like he's just annoying, man.
He's always like, even when he was playing well, that's just, he's one of those guys. He's just a complete moaner. That he just loves it.
Hate to play against him, man. You just want to break his leg.
100%.
He's that type of man. Big up Uncle RR. I'm guessing this is for Rash and that. I don't even know how to say that name. There's too many zeros in that.
And that binary code or something.
Don't know who you are, but big up to you.
Big up Liverpool for making sure Man City didn't go unbeaten. You know what? I saw this.
Oh, yeah.
Bro. Big you up, man. I saw this yesterday still.
I got a question. Do you lot think that will ever be done again?
What do you mean?
As in, see that Arsenal went unbeaten for a whole season. Do you think anybody will replicate that? Because like a lot of people, like it's like, oh yeah, you went unbeaten. Like they don't. No one pays it any mind, like outside of Arsenal fans. They're just like, anyone can do it, kind of thing. That's the kind of response you get, like when you say, we went unbeaten. But it's been 18 years.
You know what's annoying, Jeff, is that the unbeaten feat is now underappreciated by opposing fans. Because people don't realize how hard it is not to lose even one game. There's so many elements. And this was in the era before VAR.
Yep.
With no goal line technology. You can get shagged on goal line technology. You can get shagged on an offside. You can get shagged in so many different ways. Foul in the build up to a goal.
You can just get shagged.
You can just get shagged.
Bro,
we saw it all. We saw it all.
We saw it all. Like literally, that's how Arsenal lost the unbeaten streak. It was literally daylight robbery at Old Trafford.
That was a mad game.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, like, it's sad because no one respects the unbeaten record. But part of that reason is because of Arsenal fans talking about it too much.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I never thought about that.
They're saying they'd rather have that than 3 Champions Leagues.
Oh yeah, that's wild. I never
goes too far.
I never heard that. That's wild. See, I was just that's
That's not
insane.
sure about that. He kind of
Yeah.
wants. He kind of wants the unbeaten record. I hear it, but yeah,
Sheesh. Nah, but I like it. Like to me, like the unbeaten thing is a great record. Like I know we say, oh, it's 12 draws. You know how hard it is to go a whole season unbeaten. It would have been done many times if you could just win every game. Like as good as I know Man City have hit 100 points, they've done it all. Like they win 33 games of the season, they can do that. Like and kudos to that. I'm not marginalizing that achievement either because that's big. But to not lose a game in a whole season that's a mean feat.
But again, Jeff, there's another thing. Like, yes, City did get 100 points, and obviously that's one of the best Prem teams ever. But even then, now everything's about being a perfectionist with Pep, never letting you fall off the gas. So even if you've won the league, you go for every single win, every single game. Us back then, 4 games to go, you've won the league, and your fam, you're chilling. You're like, why do we need to go and try and get 98 points?
Man, they're taking early holidays.
Take an early holiday. Arsenal even did well not to lose with 4 games to go, knowing the league was already over.
And then we didn't lose for 11 games of the next season.
Don't get me started on that, man. That United game at Old Trafford, bro, that was...
Man, now we got brutalized in that game, man.
That's the first time I felt robbed in my life, bro. That was...
Yeah, they literally just had us against the wall, tied up, and just punched us. Just unadulterated body shots.
And that was bad, you know. That was bad.
That got me mad because I remember I think that came from that came after we lost in the Champions League to Chelsea. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, the season. In the Invincible season. Yeah, we lost. To Chelsea.
Yeah. We lost to Chelsea, and then our next league game that we played, I think, was Man United, and then we lost that. If I remember, it might have been that way. I'm not too sure.
Separate seasons.
I think the United one's like October-ish.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken. Yes. I think the Chelsea one's like April.
In the season before, in the Invincible.
Yeah. Okay.
But but then in that, I swear in our 49 game unbeaten run, we drew 0-0 with United as well, right? When Van Nistelrooy hit the bar.
Yes.
So that whole run was just wild. Like to be like, maybe you're right though. Maybe it's Arsenal fans that they're known to talk too much. So I'm not gonna. If someone's like said you prefer it to Champions Leagues, like Jesus, that's crazy.
Yeah, but
no, it's just something to have, isn't it? Because to me, I think the only, and this is mad, but I think the only team that can probably do it is probably Arsenal again. And it's weird like that. I think it's just one of those achievements that we've seen too many teams. Well, not too many teams, but we've seen like Man City and Liverpool have that phenomenal seasons and not being able to carry it over the line. Like it's just not in some teams for one, and two, it is so difficult. Like there's so many things to prevent you from achieving that, just from getting shagged to referees, from VAR, from fitness to injuries, competitiveness, a bloody rainy day. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
Jesus.
Like the ref and VAR don't even communicate properly no more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, and they've just started their relationship. So we've I just don't think it's something that can be. I don't think it's something that will be done, to be honest. I don't think it'll be done in the Prem.
I don't think so either.
Mr. 007 is saying, I don't think no other team has within the next 10 years will go unbeaten.
Agreed. I agree with that.
I think it could be longer than that, to be honest.
I think it could be 50 years.
It could be, I was thinking we might get one in the next 50.
Yeah, because
I don't know, man. I don't know. The leagues are getting too competitive now, man. I just can't see it. I just can't see it. I can't see it being done ever again.
That era, like, I think Henry didn't not play for like a year or two. Like he was just playing every game. Like, it doesn't happen anymore. Even like aside from Arsenal, like Frank Lampard played like 180 games consecutively or something wild like that. Like just not being injured. Like you're literally playing every game. Like that kind of era of football is done. Like people rotate teams all the time.
Having exactly, having the same players available week in, week out. I think Patrick Vieira was probably picked more times than Henri. Just, do you know what I mean? But
Probably, yeah.
it's just it's just like being able to have like that same team, that continuity in your team is just unheard of now, especially with the weird injury now. Like there's weirder injuries. Like before, it was like pulled your hamstring, hurt your calf muscle, groin muscle injuries. But now there's just so many small,
Little
intricate
thing.
injuries, niggly things that
Yeah.
get you injured these days. And do you know what I mean? People are built a bit different now. They're not as strong as they used to be. Diets have changed. You know what I mean? Where it makes you a better sportsman, but makes you a bit more, I don't know,
Brittle.
weak. Yeah,
Yeah.
brittle. That's a good word. Yeah, brittle.
But let's just finish up. Maybe just very quickly. Villa, Gerrard losing again to Chelsea 2-0. They were actually unlucky, to be honest.
Played really well.
They didn't deserve to lose at all. Kepa, I think, was man of the match. Seems like he's the number one now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Nah, Mendy. Oh man, Mendy probably didn't put the best advert out, but to bring this guy back, man.
And that's the thing. Like, like we know Mendy was having a mare.
Bad
He's
time.
been having a bit like a real bad time. But Kappa, like you can't forget.
Yeah,
Can't
but
forget who he is.
you
Do
know
you
what
know what I
it's
mean?
like? Sometimes when a manager puts his arm around you, it might help. Like it
You
seems
think that's
like
what it's done?
I think so. Like I think like even putting him back in the team is putting an arm around him
Mm.
because
Yes. Yeah, it is.
like I know you spent 70 mil, like you kind of got bumped. Like he was available for 18 mil 4 months before you paid 70 mil.
Oh,
But
that
that's
was
another story.
4 years ago, you know.
That's madness.
Born in
But
2018.
yeah,
Shit.
but then as like I know Mendy, like people at one point he was considered one of the best goalies in the league, but deep down I just never really liked him as a goalkeeper.
I know what you mean. Yeah, maybe we got caught up in the Mendy hype. Let's be honest, part of it is because he's a black goalkeeper. Let's be honest. There might be
Yeah,
a
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, yeah. And
uh,
you know they're few and far in between, in it. So when you get one, you're like, this is my guy.
yeah, literally but let's see, man. Let's see if Kepa continues it. Like obviously 75 million for a keeper, you expect some kind of return on investment. So but
Crazy.
yeah, Chelsea, what are they now? I think they're like 7 points behind us, but they've got a game in hand. So if they win their game
Yeah.
in hand, they're 1 point behind City and Spurs. So all of a sudden, they're right back in it. What are we saying about Chelsea? We convinced? We not convinced on the Potter? What are we saying?
It's interesting. It's very interesting because he's doing well. He's slowly doing well, and the team's playing all right as well. It's not like they're playing in a way where they're disjointed in any way. They seem to have a plan and being able to handle
True.
what's in front of them. Their football's not terribly attractive. Um, they do crowd the midfield. That I was saying they're kind of it's like they're kind of replicating a bit of what they did at Brighton there, where they would crowd the midfield and build their way up right until they end up on the goal line, and you're like, how did you get there? Do you know what I mean? They're kind of doing that at Chelsea, and it's working. But uh, I think Potter's a good manager, and I think that he can bring them to where they need to be. He's showing that in the Champions League, and he's showing that in the league at the moment by him creeping up. I think it's very, very good and interesting to see the battle between Chelsea, Tottenham, and City because they will all be around in and around the same amount of points once everyone's played the same amount of games. You know what I mean? So um, yeah, I'm just glad that Arsenal's not in that. You know what I mean? That conversation right now. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? But that is a healthy competition there between those
yeah,
three. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
No, definitely. Big up Ibby. Hope you're good, my guy. Saying fair to say that Chelsea possibly have the second best squad in the league on paper.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Liverpool's lost like their main guy,
Oh,
so
hmm
and then even just the squad. If you just look, if we just name their bench quickly, they had
Yeah, name their
Mendy,
bench. Yeah.
Aspilicueta. They had Mendy, so
Mhm.
goalie Aspilicueta, Koulibaly, Jorginho, Zakaria, the Carney guy who was from Villa, Conor Gallagher, Pulisic, Broha.
Wait, Koulibaly was on the bench again. Isn't Fofana injured?
Fofana's injured. He's
Who
out for
played centre back.
It was Chalobah, Thiago Silva, and Cucurella.
Jesus, so he's playing Chalobah over Koulibaly. Yeah, he I don't fancy him, innit?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. What that's about. That's a weird one.
Because he played in the Champions League, didn't he?
Oh, maybe it's that. Maybe it's just rotations.
Rotation.
Maybe it's that.
Rotation. Fair enough.
Yeah, the squad is strong, man.
Yeah,
very.
Got depth. Yeah, Aubameyang's starting to score a couple goals as well.
Yeah.
And we're playing them. One of our last games before the World Cup is Chelsea away.
I think it was November the 6th or something like that.
Yeah. And then our last game before the international break is Wolves away. So I think also next 4 fixtures are Southampton away, Forest at home, Chelsea away, Wolves away.
Not bad.
I would Southampton. I would like to think we could go there and win. They are bad.
Better time.
Even though we have a bad record at St. Mary's.
We get peppered there.
Yeah, we have a bad record at St. Mary's.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, Potter's is doing a good job. Whether it will last, we just don't know. Like, because he's a very, very good manager, but just Chelsea is just one of them clubs, isn't it? Like, it just doesn't matter who you are. Like, you seem to run into problems, whether it be Mourinho, you go back to Scolari, you go back to anybody. Like, they've all faced problems with far better resumes. But I say Potter is probably the best fit for them. Like, he's a good man-to-man manager, has good systems, and he has a lot of experience at his disposal. I think Kante is not even near to fit, and that's the bench they have.
Yeah.
So
there's out. Reece James is out.
Yeah, like a lot of men are injured.
Yeah.
And if anything, you expect Potter will probably get the best out of some of these young boys, I think. So like,
and they've already signed Nkunku as well for next season.
He's ready to go straight in there. Like, Mount had a slow start, but those 2 goals might help him. I say this.
Go on.
I was gonna say Loftus-Cheek. I don't know how he keeps playing, but this is the second manager where they just keep playing him.
They love him, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. All the attributes in it. It's just
must be sick in training, bro.
Loftus-Cheek technically is actually a baller. Like, he is.
He's cold on paper. Like, if you look at a prototype, he's the guy.
He's got so many different attributes, bro.
He's got everything.
He can run with it,
dribble,
pass. Strange guy, man. But sorry, go on, Rash.
No, I was gonna say it's kind of good that Chelsea have a manager like Potter right now, but especially with their injury issues, because he's such a strategist and he seems to be able to find a way to get things done with what he has. Do you know what I mean? And be able to provide the right tactics in the game to fit what he has in order to come out on top as well. So I think it's kind of a good thing that he's there, that they've chosen him.
Exactly, and I think that's what Ibi said here. He said, "I hate that they got a proper manager that likes to play football now. That Chelsea versus Arsenal game at the end of the month is going to be tough. It is going to be tough. It is going to be very tough. And I think, again, we know what comes with the territory. Arsenal lose that game, and it's another thing of you play someone good, you lose.
Aubameyang's got fire in his belly for that one. Like, this,
but the thing is, do you know what the mad thing is though with this? You play someone good and lose kind of conversation is, well, someone's got to win. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, does that mean if Arsenal beat Chelsea, that okay, Chelsea, when you play someone good this season, you just lose? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, can we throw it on it like that? Like, it's just kind of like.
And you know what?
Like, do you know it's because we played Liverpool and we got a good result. We played Tottenham, we got a good result. Okay, we fluffed it against United, but like our hardest away game, I think, what was probably Palace. Do you know what I mean?
Leeds.
And then Leeds.
Palace are a decent team.
Exactly, and
very good.
They're hard to go to their team and win. I just don't.
You know what it is? We're in the, like I said, it's to do with eras. We are in the era where people expect you to win every game, no matter where it's at. And we remember what it was like back in the day. we know what the rules are. You come to our ground, we expect to win no matter who you are.
Yeah, we
We
don't
come
care.
to yours, we get a point, we'll take that. We move. We've stopped you from getting free, and we've got our point. But now it's like, oh, you couldn't win at Old Trafford. Oh yeah, you're shit. You couldn't win at
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah, you're bad. And it's like, bro, so who's supposed to win?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Exactly.
Pep era, man. It's because like Pep came here and did some ridiculous things with like these squads. Like even if they don't win, it's 70% possession away from home. They're controlling teams. So now everyone has this like misconception that you're just gonna go anywhere and just dominate any game. It don't work like that, man. Especially when you're like we've got indications of being a good team. We're not all the way there yet. Like this season will show us if we're a good team or not.
100%, 100%. But yeah, let's wrap it up with the man and fraud of the weekend. So Jeff, I'll let you go first, bro. Who's your man of the weekend? Who's your fraud of the weekend?
Man of the weekend. I have to give it to Salah. Say holds goes from he has a weird like relationship with like football fans. One minute he's loved, next minute he's getting absolutely corned. But form is temporary, man. Class is permanent. Like he's just a class player. Like that goal is a great goal. He played well. He was electric all game. He seems to like playing against City. So yeah, man. Salute to Salah. Played really well. Fraud of the week can only be one thing: VAR. You continuously show us that you need to be removed from football because you're brought in for like business reasons and to like make the game better. You're doing neither.
Yeah.
Because teams are losing points and fans are angry. So miss me with it.
And you're stopping the play.
Literally, and taking all a minute. Bad. Yeah, you're wasting everybody's time. So thank you kindly. Get rid of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Rash, who you going for? Man and fraud of the weekend.
Crazy enough, it is identical to Jeff's.
Oh, identical. Yeah.
Salah, because he's gone from zero to a hero in overnight.
Hero, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This season. And the way he took that, bro.
That was disrespectful.
I think I've rewound that a couple of times, you know what I mean? Ended up being a coach all of a sudden to my niece. You see how we turned that? You see how we touched it? Do you know what I mean? That was amazing. Do you know what I mean? But I just think he's had a rough time. Even we've given him a hard time as well because of his performance, and he's deserved it because he was showing symptoms of what everyone else has when they get a big contract. But you know, the last few games he's kind of like really picked it up. Him coming off the bench and scoring a hat trick in 5 minutes in the Champions League and no one talking about it is criminal. But I think that, look, when it's time to act, everyone in that Liverpool side couldn't do it, but he did. Do you know what I mean? And so he's got to get his props for that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what about that guy Nunes, but my man's a clown, bruv. But
yeah, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned them because I was giving my man of the weekend to Salah and Tony because I think Tony another couple goals. He deserves a shout out, but probably overall to Salah because he got the winner in such a big game. So Salah probably deserves it overall. But I think for the weekend, I think Nunes might have
Nunes ain't my forward. He ain't my forward. I just wanted to give him that shout out that you're on, man. You are mad. Like he's like Nunes. Nah, my forward. It has, even though Nunes is a madman, bruv. Yeah, like, he's crazy. Like, like I can just imagine inside his brain. It's just got like 5 men scoffing back to back in his head. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like he is on some mad ish, bro. I'm telling you, doing some madness and then doing some
Royal Rumble in his brain.
I'm telling you, when it's time for you to come and put the ball away, you're doing some crazy shots that I don't like. I don't know. Like 1 week he's good, 1 week is Andy Carroll. I'm not too sure, bro. Do you know what I mean? But even though he's playing like that and he's wild like that, it has to go to VAR, bruv, because forget that. Yeah, because we all know VAR has been set up to protect the referee. It's still the referee behind that. It's them making the decisions. It's them watching the cameras, bruv. It's the referees. They have to take this L. Like, they have ruined games for some. They have slowed down games for some. Look at Arsenal as well. Look how many decisions they VAR got involved. They got it wrong and so forth like that. Like, I think that they really need to sit back at the table and revisit this thing because it's trash.
Yeah, you know what? I'm convinced sometimes referees now make decisions because they're like, we got VAR anyway. They're going to look at it. So,
you can see it.
VAR looked at Saka against Liverpool and said he was onside.
Mad, and he was off.
They looked at it.
They said that one of the cameras weren't working or something.
Imagine.
So what's the point?
The sensor didn't work. And that's not the first time.
Of the league.
That's not the first time. Do you remember when the goal line tech wasn't working that time?
They said a team got relegated in the end. Was it Sheffield United?
No. Was it Sheffield United? Wasn't it Bournemouth?
United against Aston Villa. Yeah.
Sheffield United. Maybe it was Bournemouth 1-2. There's been a few times it's failed. It's not just once.
I think even West Ham, when they went down, they had one.
Probably. It's just it's madness.
I was going to say, this might be the worst rollout of tech I've ever seen, because this was like, they looked at this in the 2010 World Cup. They've been looking at it since then.
And I remember, when did it first come in? Was it 2018 World Cup?
Something like that. 2018.
I hated it in the World Cup.
Do you know what? I think it was after that. Was it that Euros or the World Cup where Frank Lampard had the shot and it was like 5 yards in the goal?
The goal line in the World Cup, Germany.
Germany
2010. Yeah, that was peak. But all they needed was goal line technology. When it was just goal line technology, we were all fine with that. It's like,
we was cool with that.
We were
tried to do Return of the Geeks. Allow it, man.
Yeah. Do you know what the problem was? Linesmen putting up their flags, and they weren't offside.
Yes.
It wasn't the other thing, them not putting up their flags when there isn't offside. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was them preventing goals, and it's game changing decisions because my man's onside and you're saying he's off. Do you know what I mean? That's where the problem is. If it was my man's offside and you're saying he's on, no one will really care about that because you're like, okay, you can make that mistake. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But it's when it's a game changing event where someone scores a goal and you're saying, sorry mate, you was offside and you was well on. That's why they were screaming so much for it. But
it's peak. But I think I would agree with you guys. Salah and VAR with special mention to Nunes for his cameo.
Mm-hmm.
That was a madness. He missed 3 chances, but he messed up 3 things in 20 minutes. But he just reminds me of Werner because he causes all kinds of problems.
He's even worse than Werner. Like, he's just an absolute chaos. Like, you can tell he has no idea what's going on in his head. Why he's playing. It's just like,
there is a madness going on in his head.
Madness going on. Like, when we had that 3-on-1,
like people are dying, bro. People are dying.
No,
People are dying, bro.
3-on-1.
He's going for a wall.
I was in Boxspot watching it. I was funny.
Bro, he comes on the pitch angry. That's all I know. I was in
Boxspot watching it with my guys, and before the game, my boy was like, "You know what, Nunes is all right." After that 3-on-1, my boy tapped me on the shoulder, shook my hand, and said, "John, you're all right. This guy's a scrub." That's how bad it was.
Well, because you didn't pass, you just went to shoot.
The thing is,
how can you not lay it off?
How can you not look up? Lay off. He didn't look up.
Yeah, and the second one for Trent, like Fabio Carvalho is just looking at him like, bro, just
easy one. Man. Oh, he's funny. What about even that last one when he was offside, but he tried to chip it
I got tears. Oh man, this is all crying.
Hey, shut up, Nunes, man. If you can't get in football, at least get entertainment in it. So Shout him out, man.
Oh, she got tears.
But listen, people, we're gonna head off now. Make sure you smash the likes. Hopefully, we're on 20 likes by now. Subscribe to RBT as always. Do keep an eye on us on Instagram, TikTok, and everything. Like I said, we're pushing for 400 subscribers. So we really, really want to reach that milestone or better by the end of this year. If we can push for 500 subscribers, that'll be amazing. But yeah, I think there's actually a midweek Prem games this week, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a couple. I think it's City is one. Might be wrong.
Who are you playing?
I think Palace play Wolves.
Let's play Wolves.
Yeah.
There's a few. There's Southampton, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Brentford, Liverpool, West Ham, United, Spurs on Wednesday.
United Spurs.
Yeah, that'll be a decent game. We hope.
Okay. Yeah, that's big up Ed in the building saying great show, peeps. Big up Ed always, man. Always here.
Yeah, Edmund. We miss you, Edmund. We miss you.
For
yeah,
real.
you know what? We need to bring Ed back for a show, man. 100%. He said F Arsenal for the league. Psych. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, listen, people, we're gonna wrap it up here. Big up everyone. Obviously, Jalil couldn't make it today because of work, but he'll be back here for the next show. So yeah, man, smash the likes on your way out and subscribe to RBT. Follow all of the Mandem on Instagram, etc., and follow us on TikTok too. And we'll see you all real soon. Peace and take care. We out.
Salam.